Okay, so I am Dr. Mrinalini Radkar, and I'm from Setu, co-founder of Setu International Foundation. Good morning from America and good evening in India. And this is our monthly webinar series. So we are very excited to start this webinar today on a very interesting and important topic, Surya Namaskar as a journal, a gratitude journal. We have had a previous webinar from Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni on awakening sun within. I encourage, if any of you want to listen to that, we have a YouTube channel. He has a Facebook also. So on our Facebook also, we have recorded, we have uploaded the recorded previous webinar. So before any further ado, I would like to make sure you mute yourself so we do not interrupt other audience who is listening and here to listen to important topic. And we will also record this and upload this on our YouTube channel, Setu International Foundation, and it'll be on Facebook page and Setu International Foundation's Facebook page, and also Surya Namaskar Alliance Facebook page also. So Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni is an avid practitioner of Surya Namaskar. He's a student of ancient Vedic yogic literature in light of also in light of the modern science, and also includes the research in his topics. He has conducted workshops, webinars, and training sessions in United States, USA, and India. By profession, he is an engineer, and also he has written a book on Suryopasana, and you can find it on Amazon. We will also share the link for that book. He has given multiple speeches in Marathi in Vasant Vakhyanmala, Pune, and the speech was considered and revered very important, and was viewed by and watched by multiple people, and has considered one of the most watched speeches in the history of Vasant Vakhyanmala. So as I said, he's an engineer. He works in America and has been helping in corporate America in different roles and capacities for last 20 years. During his tenure, he has had multiple opportunities to work with leadership of some of the largest hospital chains in the United States of America. And he's also a founder member of Surya Namaskar Alliance, has a Facebook page. Please go ahead and like it so he can give you more information on that. And we will also upload his contact information at the end of the webinar. So today's topic is very important, gratitude as a Surya Namaskar as a gratitude journal. As we all know, we are going to know also what gratitude is and how important gratitude is for our personal health, and also bringing and opening an awareness of our society and individual people. It also has shown to help our medical conditions and help us in our chronic conditions. And he's going to explain more on that. So without any further delay, I'm so excited and happy to announce and start Mr. Nikhil, request him to start his webinar. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Doctor, for the opportunity. It's an honor and privilege to be here. Are you guys able to hear me, see me correctly? Yes, no? Can you hear me?
Yes. We
Okay,
can hear you.
wonderful. So let me start sharing my screen and we will jump into the presentation. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Surya Namaskar Alliance Awakening the Sun Within. Surya Namaskar, a gratitude journal. Today's topic is we'll be focused on the gratitude journal. So what exactly are we going to look into? We will look into the definition of some of the terms like what is gratitude? What is a gratitude journal? What are the benefits of maintaining a gratitude journal to our heart and our mind? And then we will dive into how Surya Namaskar is actually a form of gratitude journal, and it's a means and tools to maintain the gratitude journal. We will review various mantras and slokas and stotras that we recite as a part of the Surya Namaskar process. And then we will dive into the Surya names, and we will try to understand and explore the meaning of each of those names and how it is each of these names is a form of appreciation and a form of gratitude towards the sun. And then at the end, we will draw some conclusions, and then we will open the session for question and answer. All right, gratitude. I love this sentence. This is coming from one of the greatest philosopher, Greek Roman philosopher of all time. He was one of the greatest speakers on this planet. He was in the 1st century Greek. He was one of the statesmen, and he was a very politically influential person. His name is Cicero. And he wrote in one of his letters, he talked about gratitude. And he says, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but it's the parent of all others. I mean, as a human being, we grew up with so many different virtues, and we are taught those virtues, like it may be the honesty or the integrity or the mercy or the compassion. But Cicero says he goes a step beyond, and he says gratitude is the mother of all these virtues. So as a human being, if you really want to cultivate these virtues in us, I mean, what we should really look at is how much gratitude we have in us towards others. Let's get into the definition of gratitude. So gratitude, Latin root is gratis or gratia, meaning thankful by favor. It's a state of mind, and it's a spontaneous feeling. It's a very extemporal feeling. It's not like you have thought about somebody and you are going to say thank you to that person or thing. It's not like that. It should come from the heart, and it's a strength of the heart. So it's a spontaneous response. We say, aha, I'm so thankful that I got that bus and so I made it. So that kind of feeling is gratitude. Let's get into gratitude journal. In one of the famous book by Dr. Alex Kolb, the book is called The Upward Spiral. He talks about gratitude journal. He says there is a gratitude circuit in your brain, badly in need of a workout. Strengthening that circuit brings the power to elevate your physical, mental health, boost happiness, improve sleep, help you feel more connected to other people. I really like this particular paragraph. It talks about various aspects of gratitude journal. Gratitude journal is not something that is foreign to us. It is within us. It is within our brain. It is a circuit that is given to us by birth. It's just that we have not explored it to that extent, and it needs a lot of workout. It's because of the neglect, it has kind of got corroded and neglected. So all we need to do is get back to it, understand that there is something called gratitude circuit in our brain, and strengthen it. And what are we going to get out of it? We are going to elevate our physical and mental health, boost our happiness levels, improve our quality of sleep, and help you feel more connected with other people. So now going back to the definition that is given by Cicero like 2000 years back, he says that it is the mother of all virtues. So if you want to connect with people, all you need is you need to be honest. You need to be compassionate. You need to be concerned about people. You need to have feeling for others. You need to have a sense of service. You need to have a sense of purpose. So all these virtues, you need all these virtues to connect with the people, to be part of the society. And the mother of all these virtues is the gratitude. All right. So gratitude journal defined. How do we really define gratitude journal? It's a habit of, I have intentionally highlighted some of the important words where I want you to focus on. It's a habit of recording and reflecting on things that you are grateful for on a regular basis. It's a habit of, first of all, it's a habit. and habit is something that we do repeatedly. It's a habit of recording. We want to record it intentionally. We want to record it and reflecting. And reflect is what is happening to us, what has happened to us, and who has actually helped us come here where we are. That's the process of reflecting, and grateful for on a regular basis. We want to say thank you to everything, every person that helped us come here where we are today on a regular basis. So each one of these 4 words is equally important: recording, reflecting, being grateful, and on a regular basis. So gratitude journal is very closely related to the neuroplasticity of our brains. In recent times, there has been substantial research on understanding the behavioral patterns of the brain and the neuroplasticity, and how it changes with the situation, how it learns from different events that happen in our life, and then how it reprograms itself. That study is called the neuroplasticity. So whatever we tell our brain, in fact, brain is our slave, and it's a tool given to us to organize our actions and activities. So we have all the capacity to program our brain. And by changing our way of thinking, we can actually rewire the brain and make it capable to deliver the results the way we want those results. So gratitude journal is a process of rewiring of our brain to focus on the positive aspects of our life. So as a human being, we get a very, very popular, very, very mature brain. Let's take a look at our brain. What does it really means when we say a brain? It's a ball of sponge-like tissue, very soft. It weighs about 3 pounds. It's 2% of our body weight. It has 7 lobes, 3 layers, and it has more than 100 billion neurons. So it's an organ. It's an organ given to us. But if we look at the evolution of this brain has 3 different layers. The first one is the neocortex, which is at the top of it. Then you have the second layer is the mammalian brain, which the cow and the dog and the cat has got that type of brain. And then at the root of it, we got something called a reptilian brain. And reptilian brain is the brain that is with the snake or a lizard or a crocodile. Now, if you look at the architecture of our brain, what is at the core is the reptilian brain. And the reptilian brain has only 2 responses. It's either fight or flight. It doesn't have any capacity for a conversation. At least I have not seen like a bunch of snakes sitting together and talking about the future of the snake or the future of the earth. They don't do that because they don't have that capacity in their brain. They don't have capacity to analyze the situation. They don't have capacity to store the information. All they have is, okay, they think everything around them is a threat to them. And they have only 2 responses. Either they can fight or they can flight. And this particular structure of the brain makes it very, very negative biased. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but we have inherited all those capacities and limitations of the reptilian brain also. In many instances in our life also, we behave more like a snake, where we fight or flight with the people. We don't engage in conversation. We choose our responses that are very rudimentary, and that makes us negatively biased. I mean, it's not bad in any way. See, when we got this brain, probably we were living in some forest, and we might have been surrounded by all the wild animals and creatures, and we might have been surrounded by flooding waters and whatnot. So this brain was created when we were living in those forests, where we were surrounded by all kind of uncertainties, and so probably they gave us a bias to protect us from the threats coming towards us. So it might have been good in those days, but if you look at today, I mean, we are living in a very civilized society. We are living in towns that are full of all the kind of modern comfort creatures. We live in the houses that even cockroaches cannot enter. We live in, we sleep on the beds that are like three layered and 4 layered, and we have the air conditioning units and all. So we are all protected. So we really don't need that level of negative bias to survive. I mean, life has become the risk level of life and the uncertainty level of our life has gone substantially down. So we can be actually very comfortable. We can get away from that anxiety. Probably 10,000 years back, the humans might have experienced like, oh, am I going to get food tomorrow, or today evening, what am I going to eat? We don't have that level of anxiety. So the point here is, our brain is designed for the negative bias. And as a human being, it is our responsibility to take that bias and convert it into at least neutral, if not positive. I mean, I'll give you one example of a positive brain. Gautam Buddha is a very good example of a positive biased brain. I mean, if you look into his teachings, if you look into his architecture of his brain, I mean, there is a very big research that has happened on the Buddha's brain. Like what really makes Buddha a Buddha, and that's his brain. And the difference between his and our brain is the bias, is the bias on the positivity. His brain is extremely biased on the positive side of it. So gratitude journal is a practice to intentionally create that positive bias in our brain, and train our brain for that positivity, and tell our brain and comfort our brain that, okay, don't worry, nothing is going to wrong with you. You are fine. You will do good. And this is a practice that we are going to do every day, every morning of the day. And then we are going to create a huge network of positive thoughts and optimism, which is actually going to have very positive effects on our body and our mind. And that we are going to see in the upcoming slides. Benefits to the mind. Where does mind lives? I mean, there are so many theories about mind. Mind is everywhere. Mind is universal. Mind is in the body. Mind is in the brain. But I mean, honestly, mind lives in the brain, and it comes with all the biological limitations of the brain. So in United States, they conducted a very good exercise on Vietnam War veterans. These people have been involved in so many different war fronts, so many situations where they didn't really wanted to involve, but they had to go through those circumstances. They might have to do things that they really didn't intend to do. And that created a sense of negativity in their mind. And they were facing chronic level of depression. And what happened is, I mean, American Psychological Association conducted an experiment on them. Like, how can we bring them out of that deep down depression? So they conducted an experiment, and they asked them to write a gratitude journal. And gratitude journal is nothing else but write 5 things that you are thankful for. I'll give you one example. I mean, life is so full of positivity. It's just that we are not recognizing that positivity. So let me give you that example. Um, let's take an example. I'm
Nikhil,
living
I
in.
think we cannot
Yeah.
hear you. Nikhil,
Can you hear me now?
we cannot. It's just the head speaker, something with the head speaker.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Now you can. Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but sorry about that. Okay, so let me give you one example. I'm going to office, and I need to reach office at 8 o'clock in San Francisco. I live in San Jose. So it's about 45 miles of a distance, and I'm going to take a public transportation. It's a local train. So look at, I mean, a lot of people think that, oh, it's given, you just go there and you will be there at 8 o'clock. What is big deal in it? Well, there is a big deal in it. If you just look at and analyze the situation and the sequence of events that happened since I get up in the morning at 6 o'clock, I got up, I got my shower, and then thanks to my family, they let me use the restroom and everything on priority. And see, that's number one opportunity to thank people. Number two is I got my laundry shirts and trousers and suit and all. Wonderful. Some guy was working there day and night to laundry my shirts, to laundry my pants, to laundry my suit. And now he is putting me in a situation where I can just walk into the closet, pull the clothes and put it on in no time. So this is my second opportunity to be thankful. Then I go out for a breakfast place and coffee place, and that guy says, "Hey, good morning, how are you doing?" And then I order some breakfast and then I eat it. Then I drink coffee. Do you see the point here? That guy was there in his shop at 4 o'clock in the morning. He opened his shop, cleaned his thing. He made sure that he has enough bread, he has enough meat, he has enough coffee. And then when you go there, you have everything ready for you. So this is my another opportunity to be thankful. Then I jump into the metro. Okay, metro comes on time. I get into the metro drops me to my office location. Wonderful. So now there are few more opportunities to thank here. Look at it. I entered into the metro station. The metro station was safe. There was cops around. They made sure that there is no crime. It's a safe environment. I entered into it. Maybe a ticket clerk gave me a ticket. He woke up at maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, got back to his job so that I can get back into job on time. Then I got into the metro driver, the motorman, he drove the metro on time. Wonderful. Then the signal system worked on time. Everything worked on time. Guys, there are hundreds of opportunities to be thankful here. Anything that can go wrong. If anything of these things would have gone wrong, I would not have been reaching to the office at 8 o'clock. I might have been late. So my question to you is, how many times do we really thank all these guys in our heart, in our mind? I don't know. I mean, the number is very small. The real issue is that, I mean, we need to find out all the opportunities to be thankful for the things that are happening on time and in place. And the gratitude journal is all about that. Identifying those opportunities to thank somebody, to thank something, to thank some situation, to thank some cause, and be thankful about it. And they had this experiment on these Vietnam War veterans, and they had a substantial improvement in their mental health, and their chronic level of depression went down substantially. And that was a major breakthrough in the treatment of chronic depression. Improved mental health, resiliency to suicide by increasing meaning in life. So meaning in life, just imagine if when I notice that just to put me into office at 8 o'clock, like there are 100 guys working out of their schedule, and that makes me so thankful and makes me feel so accountable that, okay, these all people have taken a lot of effort in their life. So it is my responsibility to deliver the best results in my life. So now the onus is on me. And that is the essence where we create the resiliency to suicidal thought, which is kind of an extreme side of the negative mental health. So we create that resiliency by increasing the meaning in our life. Emotional well-being, lower stress, depression, higher social support. So as I said, the gratitude is the mother of all the virtues. The more we have, more gratitude we have, the more virtues we cultivate, and the better human we become. And the better human we become, more appreciation we get, more acceptance we get from our society. And that's when we get higher social support. Moving on to heart's brain. I mean, this is a very new research, wonderful research. I found it very interesting. We were just talking about the brain, so I thought to extend it to the heart also. Heart has a brain of its own. I mean, this is a very interesting finding. They did some 3D mapping on male rats to find out what is really in their heart, and what kind of system that they have in their heart that helps them make the decisions. So what they have found is there are about 40,000 neurons, just similar to ones found in our brain. And heart also has its own nervous system. So when I talk about positivity and gratitude, we just looked at that in our brain, we have a huge network of 100 plus billion neurons. So what is 100 plus billion? What is a billion? The total population of our world is 6.5 billion. Okay. And now just imagine in a small head, small brain, we have more than 100 billion plus neurons. And all these neurons are sitting very close to each other. They have their own clusters. They have their own networks of their friends. They have their own likes and dislikes, and they have their own ways of connecting with other groups, just like what we see on Facebook, with Twitter, or any other social media. So one thought you induce in your brain, it gets propagated into so many other groups in the brain structure, and so many different neuron groups get activated. They call their friends, they call their friends, they call their friends. So even a small thought creates a gigantic network of a chain of thoughts. It's like a chain reaction. And then that those thoughts take charge of your system. Then you start acting on those thoughts, then you start working on those thoughts, and that changes the way you behave. That has a very substantial and a profound effect on what we do in our life. And if that we were talking about the gratitude journal and the positivity. So if we introduce a positive thought in the very beginning of our day, uh, it is going to create a positive network of thoughts. It is going to give us more level of comfort. It is going to calm us down. It is going to reduce our anxiety substantially. And if that happens to brain, that happens to brain through the neurons. And if heart has the neurons, it is going to have the similar impact on the heart also. So this is from the just from the nervous system point of view, but there are other cardiovascular benefits to the heart also. Let's take a quick look at that. They call it as a gratitude research in acute coronary events. This is the name of the project. Dr. Jeffrey Huffman from Massachusetts General Hospital, he conducted that project, and his observation is the positive psychological states like the optimism or the gratitude or the appreciation have a predict superior cardiovascular health. So it has a scientific basis that the more positive attitude we exert, the better cardiovascular health we get. Likewise, American Psychological Association said the substantial reduction in the level of inflammatory biomarkers. And this is a very breakthrough finding from the Alzheimer point of view, because at the root of Alzheimer, I mean, the research is still in progress, but at the root of Alzheimer is the inflammatory biomarkers. And if there is something that can substantially reduce the inflammatory biomarkers, I think I will take that pill twice a day. And I think the gratitude journal is that pill that I would definitely seek for. Benefits to the overall health: fewer health complaints, more time exercising, fewer symptoms of physical illness. Important thing to note here is there is a substantial reduction in a hormone called cortisol. 23% reduction in cortisol, and cortisol is a direct reflection of the level of stress in your body and mind. So if you are able to reduce your cortisol by like a quarter, I think that's a substantial help to our mind and body. 100% decrease in another hormone called DHEA. One more important benefit, and which is which is also related to the Alzheimer and the onset of Alzheimer, is the quality of sleep and the longer sleep hours. When we are talking about Alzheimer's, this is very important because it is closely related to the amyloid beta protein and its accumulation in the brain and the cleaning process. So the longer we sleep in the deep sleep, the better it is. Body can clear more amyloid beta from the brain, and then the probability of forming the plaques goes down. It also depends on the quality of sleep. How well we sleep, the more amyloid beta will be taken out of our body on a regular basis. So these are some of the very good and tangible, scientifically proven benefits of gratitude journal. Now let's dive into the Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar and how Surya Namaskar is a gratitude journal. Now I assume we all are convinced that, okay, gratitude journal is something that is really good for my mind, that is really good for my body, and I should do it. Now let's figure out how Surya Namaskar can get you the form of gratitude journal that we are looking for. So what we do in Surya Namaskar, we chant a few mantras and a few shlokas and suktas. So what we start with something called the Surya mantra, which is Adityasya Namaskaran ye kurvanti dine dine janmantara sahastreshu daridram nopajayate. Okay, for my understanding is all these mantras that we chant before the Surya Namaskar is my self-talk. And this self-talk is a journey of positivity, journey of optimism. I am telling my mind to be comfortable. There is no risk to you. You are fine. You are in good hands. Don't worry about it, and just live the way you want to live. And if you look into the meaning of this, so Adityasya Namaskaran ye kurvanti dine dine. It's a Sanskrit. I hope you, if you don't assume that's what, don't worry about it. I will explain it. So what it is telling is Adityasya Namaskaran, whoever is going and worshipping the god sun over days and days and days, Janmantara Sahastreshu Daridryam Nopajayate, that you will not face poverty in your thousands of your births. Even if you take birth on the same planet for more 1,000 times, you will not face poverty. And what does the poverty mean? It's not only the financial poverty. I mean, people have different kind of poverties. People have physical poverty, they have mental poverty, they have poverty in their thinking process, they have poverty in their social connection, they have poverty in their communication skills, they have poverty. We have poverty in all different forms of life. So when I say Janmantara Sahastreshu Daridryam Nopajayate, that means for the next 1,000 births, I will not face any kind of poverty in me. And I will come as a very complete human being. I will come as a very balanced human being, and I will come as a very evolved and successful human being. What a fantastic thought it is. When, okay, you have option to start your day the way you want. I'm not preaching you anything. You can start a day like a cranky baby. You can start a day like, oh, stock market is down. Oh man, this Ukraine-Russia war is killing the world. Oh, we are in the end of it. I mean, this is going to start as something like bad. Oh, economy is so down. Oh, inflation is so bad. Okay, you can start your day like that. It will just instigate the negative thought network in your brain. I want to be um, little childish here, you can call it, but I want to be positive here. I want to start my day on a positive note. Okay, this, whatever I say, Surya Mantra and all, this is not going to change the inflation. This is not going to stop the Ukraine-Russia war. That's fine. Those things I don't have any control on. All I have control on is how I think, what I think, how I use or activate my neural network. That's the only thing I have control on. And this is exactly what we do when I say Adityasya Namaskaran ye kurvanti dine dine janmantara sahastreshu daridram nopajayate. So I'm cultivating a thought that I am not going to be poor in any of my births because I am worshipping the sun. That's it. Then I say Akala Mrityu Haranam Sarva Vyadhi Vinashanam Surya Padodakam Tirtham Jatare Dharamamyaham. The meaning of it is, um, it's a glass of water shown to the sun. Basically, the assumption is that sun has it is we are touching the sun's legs and feet with that water, and then if I drink that water, it is going to Akala Mrityu Haranam Sarva Vyadhi Vinashanam. So it is going to take care of all my ailments. It is going to take care of all my diseases. And the important thing is Akala Mrityu Haranam is Akala Mrityu is unnatural death. There are two types of death. I mean, nobody can say that, okay, you do something and you will not die. That's not going to happen. Everybody is going to die. But there are two types of death. One is a natural death and the one is an unnatural death. So what is a natural death? I will give you one metaphor here. You guys must have seen trees with fruits on it. Maybe apples or mangoes or anything like that. So those fruits are hanging to the tree only to a certain time. Once that life cycle of that fruit is complete, the tree let go of that fruit. I mean, the fruit drops from the tree to the ground. I mean, that is the natural death. And if you go and pluck a apple or pluck a mango, I mean, that's the unnatural death. This is just a metaphor. So there is no pain. So sayingly, there is no pain in the natural death. There is a lot of pain in the unnatural death. So what we want to avoid is the unnatural death. And unnatural death causes maybe many things, including the diseases, the illnesses, the accidents. So what I'm trying to say here is, okay, if I do something, I'm going to avoid that unnatural death, and I'm not going to get unnatural death. I'm not going to get involved in that uncalled for pain in my life. Okay, why should I believe in this? Okay, you don't have to believe in this. I'll give you one classic example. Uh, Patanjali says to have a knowledge, there are three ways to do it. And when he says that, he says pratyaksha anumana gamaha pramanani. He says pratyaksha is you go and take your own experience. Anumana is something called logical decision, logical conclusions. Um, and third one is agamaha. Agamaha is something like our ancestors might have said something, and they have written down something based upon their own experiences, based upon their own conclusions, and then I'm just going and following it. I would say each one of these three ways to get the knowledge are equally valid, and this is coming from Patanjali. So if I look at the Surya Mantra and the what it says, let's call it as a agama. I don't have experience, I don't have a conclusion. So, but yeah, somebody said it, and in a very nice way, and I'm just going to take it. So I'm going to increase that level of acceptance and say that, okay, I believe in this. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If it turns into a good results, wonderful. If it doesn't turn into good results, okay, just I might have said some words that might not have worked out well. That's the way I would look at it. And uh, but I want you to understand the purpose of doing it. The purpose of doing it is not to fight with our mind. The purpose of doing it is to calm it down, is to tell it and convince it, okay, man, people have been doing this for 20,000 years. Who are you to take a doubt on it? Okay, I'm not bigger than that. I got it from all my ancestors. I'm just going to follow it. And I'm going to tell my mind that, okay, my followers, my ancestors told me that if you do this, this is what is going to happen. Let's see what happens. And then I'm going to say, Adityasya namaskaran ye kurvanti dine dine janmantara sahastreshu daridryam nopajayate, and akala mrityu haranam sarva vyadhi vinashanam surya padodakam tirtham chatare dharamamyaham. Next thing I'm going to recite is something called a Mahamrityunjay mantra. This is something considered to be one of the most positive mantras in Hindu literatures. What does it really talks about? It is a prayer to the god with the Shiva with the three eyes, the Trambakam. And what we are asking him is to make us immortal. Make us immortal. What does it really mean? Is it going to avoid our death, the natural death that we talk? Not really. So what does it really mean is, I have been caught into this notion of birth and death. So when somebody asks me, when did you born? I tell them that, okay, my birth date. This is the date I was born. And you ask someone, what was the date of death? Somebody says, okay, he passed away on this date. She passed away on this date. So, I mean, that's not really the definition of birth and death. It's very difficult. It's impossible to find when you got really, when you were really born. Because is it the date you were really born? That's the date you were born, or what is it, the date that you were conceived? That's when you born, or is it when you got into your dad? Is when you were born, or when your dad was born? That's when you were born. So it's just not possible to find somebody's when you were born. So the point here is, we are eternal, and we have no beginning and we have no end. So what we are trying to say here with this Mahamrityunjay mantra is, hey, Lord Shiva, give me that identity back. I am the eternal. I don't have a beginning. I don't have the end. Don't have a birth. I don't have the death. Give me that identity back, and that will make me a complete human. And that will give me a true identity back to myself. And I want to live in that identity. I want to just get rid of this false identity of birth and death. That is the very meaning of Mahamrityunjaya mantra. And when we recite it, what we are trying to tell ourselves, it is again a form of self-talk. We are telling ourselves that, okay, you are immortal. You don't have to worry about anything. Nayanam chindanti shastrani nayanam dahati pavakaha. Nothing can kill you. No weapon can kill you. And there is no fire that can burn you. You are immortal. And this is a self-talk that is giving to myself. This is self-talk that is giving to myself. What it is going to do is it is going to reduce my level of anxiety. It is going to reduce the entropy of my mind, and it is going to start a chain reaction of positive thoughts. Then we recite something called Patanjali mantra, Patanjali Sukta. It's Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopa Karottam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjalitani Tosmi. This is a real it is like saying thank you to the Muni Patanjali for everything that he gave to us. And we are being very honest. We are being very polite. We are being very thoughtful. And we are telling him that you gave us the yoga to cleanse our chitta. Chitta is mind. You gave us the yoga to cleanse our chitta. You gave us the pada, which is the poets, the poems, to cleanse our speech, the vacha, and you act like a vaidya to cleanse our body. So all your teachings are helping my mind, helping my speech, and helping my body. And that is the reason I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. What a fantastic way of gratitude journal. We are thanking somebody for giving us this mind, this speech, and this body. And this is happening at the very beginning of our day. So I think this is a very good way to start our positive chain reaction of positive thoughts. Next we chant is Purna Mantra. Purna Mantra is Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. What does it really mean is, it gives us a sense of completeness. It gives us, we talked about our identity, the real identity, the eternal identity, the immortal identity. And this is another manifestation of that same identity. It says that I'm no different than the universe. It says that the universe is complete. Okay, everything that is in universe is also complete. So if this universe is complete, the sun is complete. If we were born out of sun, I am also complete. So it is a sense, it is giving me a sense of completeness. It is telling me that you are not a weak, frail, poor human being living on some part of this earth, working for a few dollars a week. But instead, you are the universe. You are the universe. The whole universe is conspiring to make you successful. We looked at that example when we started from 6 o'clock in the house to reach that 8 o'clock in the office. All those guys were conspiring to make sure that I reach into the office on time. So that universe is complete. I am surrounded by that universe, and this universe is going to come to my help at all times. So what this mantra tells me is, it's a very good definition of infinity, Ananta. It says that the universe is complete and universe is whole. That's the right word to use. The universe is whole. If you take whole out of universe, what remains is whole. If you put another hole, W-H-O-L-E, hole, if you put another hole into that hole, what remains is still the hole. So you are no different than this universe. Even if you are taken out of this universe, the universe is not going to be affected. It will still continue to be do like that. And so the sum total of this mantra is creating a positive chain of thoughts in our minds that will tell me that I'm not alone on this planet. If I'm working on something, if I'm working on some project, if I have some idea in my mind that I want to implement, okay, I'm not alone. This universe will conspire, come together, all the resources will come to me, all the money that is required, that will come to me, all the people will join, right people will come and join me, and then I will be able to deliver my task. This is the way we should look at things, and this mantra is going to help us uh, uh, concretize that belief in our mind every morning of the day. And this is a what we are creating here is we are creating a climate of positivity, a climate of optimism in our brain and our mind. All right. So these are the 4 mantras that Surya Namaskar Alliance recommends you do before you start the practice of Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar has another aspect of gratitude journal. So when we do Surya Namaskar, we chant various names of Surya. And I love Sanskrit because Sanskrit is really a powerful language. And I don't know, I mean, they must have spent a whole lot of thought process when they designed this language. They have created like synonyms for every single word. And if you look at just the names of the suns, there are more than 108 names given to the sun. And just for comparison, I don't mean to show that this is better or this is not, but if you try to find a synonym for sun in English, actually there is no synonym for sun in English. Sun is sun in English, but sun is 108 names in Sanskrit, more than 108. But 100 names are a prominent names. Each one of those names have a beautiful meaning attached to that name. Either that name is an appreciation of sun, either that name is a description of sun, or that name is a gratitude for the sun, saying that thank you sun, it's because of you this is all happening. So let's take a look at these names, especially the names that we use in as a part of Surya Namaskar practice. Why do we really need to do that? Is I want to emphasize on this statement. I love this statement. It's from Gautam Buddha. He says, what you think is you become, what you feel is you attract, what you imagine is you create. Each one of these 3 lines is amazing, and this is the form of gratitude journal. What you think is you become. You think about sun, you will become sun. You will think about the luster of sun, you will have that luster of sun in you. You think about the brilliance of sun, you will have that brilliance in you. What you feel is you attract. You feel the sun, you feel the creativity of sun, you feel the power of sun, and that you will attract. And then what you imagine is you create. Look at the imagination of sun. Just look at the imagination of sun. Everything around you is made by sun. Everything around we, whatever we eat, whatever we think of, whatever we meet with, everything, whatever we wear is all made by sun. And this is all imagination of sun, and it is so marvelous. Just take a one example. Take a leaf of any tree. Take a leaf and touch on it and look at it and see that it's not a flat leaf at all. It is a 3-dimensional curved surface. And why it is designed like that is, okay, that tree is going to stand in the sun and the night, and it will have some dew falling on it, and then that dew accumulation will have some weight on that leaf. So to avoid the breaking of that leaf from the tree, it has created the waterways on that leaf, so that if there is enough water accumulation by the dew, that water will drip out of that leaf, and the leaf will be free again. What a fantastic creation. Look at any bird, look at any animal. Everything is created so precisely, so beautifully, so frictionlessly. That's the height of imagination. I have not seen any better apparatus than our own body. We appreciate maybe Apple and iPhone and all that stuff, but our body is like 100 times, 1,000 times more refined, more capable than any of the apparatuses that human being has created so far. And this is the imagination of sun. If you understand this, if you imagine that sun is creating this, your imagination is going to quadruple. Your imagination is going to get you better results. So I want you to sink in on these three sentences from Gautam Buddha: is what you think is you become, what you feel is you attract, and what you imagine is you create. So when we say the Surya names, when we understand their meanings, what we are trying to do is we are thinking about the sun, we are feeling the sun, and we are imagining the sun. So let's dive into those names one by one. The first name is Mitra. Mitra is a very simple word. Everybody knows it. It's the friend who is affectionate to all. But one good thing about Mitra is it is the only relation in our life where we open our heart. Just go back and be honest to yourself. All of us have so many different relations in our life. We have our parents, we have our brothers, we have our sisters, we have our cousins, we have our grandparents and kids, and all kind of relations, so-called relations. All these relations come with a baggage of logic. Oh, this is my dad. Okay, I need to do certain things in front of him. I cannot do certain things in front of him. This is my grandfather. Okay, fine, I cannot do certain things in front of him, definitely not. And I can do certain things in front of him. So this, every relation in our life comes with a baggage of logic, and that logic holds us back, and that we keep on thinking about that logic. We are never free with any of these relationships, but we are only free with our friend. With our friend, we don't take our logic, we don't take any restrictions. Okay, what if I do this, what he will feel, what she will feel, I don't care. And that's where the friendship lives. I mean, it's basically, it is the only relationship that goes beyond the logical boundaries. And when I say Om Ram Mitraya Namaha, I'm calling the sun as my friend. I'm not calling he as my dad. I'm not calling he as my grandfather, great grandfather. Okay, fine, he may be, but I'm calling him as my friend. And now I'm going to open my heart and I'm going to talk to him. Probably he will also talk to me. And then we will exchange what is our thought process with each other. This is a connect and commune with the sun. That is what I want to take away from this name, Om Ram Mitraya Namaha. We are creating a gigantic friend for us in any form of life, be it business, be it politics, be it any form of business. The bigger friend you have, more influence you have, better life you can have. So just apply that here also. I mean, sun is so gigantic. It's a gigantic thing. I mean, compared to earth and human being and the life and everything around us, sun is like so many thousand times than us. So having such a big giant friend in us is also a great pill of positivity. Okay, I have such a big friend. I don't need to worry about anything else in life. That friend is going to take care of me. That is my self-talk when I say Om Ram Mitraya Namaha. Moving on to the next one, we say, yes.
Your presentation, can you check? It's stuck. I think it's stuck at benefits to the mind. Can you see?
Really?
Are you? Okay.
Okay, is it coming again? Do you see it?
It's at Ravi. Yes.
It's at Ravi.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
better. Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for that. Okay, wonderful. So second name is Ravi, and Ravi is, if we go by the word meaning, it's the agent of change, the karaka, who creates something, who changes something. Every change begins with the sun. Okay. But one thing I want to emphasize here is change is temporary and transformation is permanent. We need to understand the difference between a change and a transformation. So change is something very short-lived. I mean, it's done by enforcing some rules, some laws, some restrictions. We want people to change their behavior, and as soon as those restrictions are gone, that change is gone. But transformation is permanent. Transformation is adopted by the people very well. People like it. People like that change. So for that, we need to train those people, make sure that they accept and adapt to that change, and they live in that change so that that change remains. And then only we call it as transformation. So honestly, Ravi is a not really a change agent, it is an agent of transformation. So I'll give you one example. What is a transformation? The change is permanent. You put a seed, put some water in it, it grows into a plant, and that's a transformation. You see, that plant cannot go back into seed. Okay, there will be seed coming out of plant, but that plant now cannot go back into seed. That's a permanent transformation, and that plant is equally happy as the seed was before that seed got converted into a plant. Now that plant has grown up, it is showing some flowers, and that is again a transformation. And that flower is going to blossom into fruits, and that fruit is going to give us the seeds. You see the point? Each one of this change, for this change, the cause is the Ravi, is the sun. If there was no sun, none of this would have happened. The seeds would have lied down in the darkest of the hour doing nothing. They want to see the sun, and that's why they bloom into a plant. The tree wants to show something to the sun, and that turns into flowers, and flower turns into fruits, and then fruit delivers the seeds back to you. So the point here is, for each one of these transformation, the cause is Ravi. And what we think here is, when I say Ravi, I think of all these things. Okay, for all these transformations around me happening time and again, the cause is Ravi. And such a big giant thing. And I thank for all the transformations that might have happened to make me what I am today. There have been so many transformations over the generations. And those transformations has caused a human being called Nikhil, who is with this particular body, this particular mind, and this particular thought process, and is at this moment thinking about sun. And so I'm thanking the sun for all those transformations. One of the transformation has gone wrong, I wouldn't have been here. So for my very existence, I'm thanking the sun for being part of all those transformations for maybe billions of years. So that's the very gratitude journal I'm maintaining when I say Om Hreem Ravaye Namaha. Third name is Om Hroom Suryaya Namaha. Quick time check. Actually, it's almost 8:35 here. We still have to go like 9 more names, but I will just try to be faster here. But if you have any questions, let me know. Surya. It's a wonderful name. Surya means the initiator. It's the person, it's the thing that creates something, that ignites something, that starts something. It's the initiator of the cycle of water. I'll give one good example. Of course, sun is the initiator of day, that is given. Like, it brings us the light and it kind of moves away the darkness, and that initiates a new life, new phase of life, new day on the earth. But another example I wanted to give you is the cycle of water. I mean, this has been happening. Water has been on the planet for millions of years. It has not gone anywhere. It has not gone anywhere. There is no new addition of water. There is no subtraction of water. Water has been there on this planet forever. And what it just changes its form. That water gets evaporated, the sea water gets evaporated into clouds, then it gets the cold air, then it turns into rain, then they turn into the rivers, and those rivers give life to people, and the societies survive on those rivers, and at the end those rivers go back to the sea, and again the cycle continues. So as you can see, who is the initiator of this cycle? Is it the sea who is the initiator of this cycle? Is it the cloud who is the initiator of this cycle? Is it the rain? Is it the river? Is it the people? Is it the sea? No. The initiator of this cycle is the evaporation of the water. And that is caused by the Surya. And that is why we go in front of sun and say that, okay, thank you so much for starting this cycle of water. If this cycle of water had not been started, probably I wouldn't have taken birth on this planet. I wouldn't have got this body. I wouldn't have got this nourishment. I wouldn't have got this food. I wouldn't have got these clothes. Wonderful. Look at it this way. It is the sun who is causing, who is giving me these things as my endowments. And that is why I'm going to sun and say, thank you so much for giving me everything. And especially for starting this cycle of water, starting this cycle of light. Thank you so much. Next name is a Bhanu. This is actually an appreciation of sun. I think somebody is talking. Can you please go on mute? Doctor, can you please mute?
Yeah, I'm trying. Bidkar, I think it's the Mr. Let me try to. Bidkar, yeah, somebody named Bidkar here. No, Bidkar. Let me mute all and then you can unmute yourself.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I muted everybody. You can unmute yourself. Or let me unmute you. Here you go. Oh, then you have to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so going back to Bhanu, are you able to see my screen again?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So Bhanu is more of an appreciation of the sun. I mean, what we are appreciating here is the one illuminated with the luster of knowledge. The real meaning of Bhanu is the luster of knowledge. The meaning behind is the sun is so knowledgeable, is full of knowledge, and so indifferent. The knowledge has achieved the highest level of purity. I mean, there is no difference whatsoever. There is no thought process going on. There is no logic whatsoever. It has attained the ultimate in the form of knowledge, and that is showing up as a bright, and it is showing up, the brilliance of his knowledge is so bright, it is showing up as a ray of light. And that is what we say, Bhanu. We are, again, appreciation is also a form of creating optimism, creating positivity in our mind. So when we say Bhanave Namaha, we are appreciating, and we already called him as a friend. So there is no harm in appreciating our friend. It's always good to appreciate him. And that's what we do when we say Om Rahim Bhanave Namaha. Khaga. Khaga is a beautiful name. It's a description of sun. And with this description, we request the sun to give that quality to us. The word-to-word meaning of Khaga is bird or Brahmin. I mean, these are the word-to-word meanings. But what really means by Brahmin? Brahmin is not the caste. So let's take a look at the definition of Brahmin. And there are two words here, like the two alphabets, Kha and the Ga. The Kha is, the meaning of Kha is space. The meaning of Ga is the one who is living in that space. Ga is for the Gamana, the thing, the person, the who is living in that space. And now, what is this space? That is the real question. The space is not really the sky or the universe or the space here. The real definition of space is the gap between the two thoughts. It's related, it's a little bit complicated concept. It's related to the concept of living in the now, and it is given by the Eckhart Tolle. And his thought process is, whenever we are thinking, we cannot think about the now. We can never think about the now. When we think, we either think of the past or we think of the future. We can never think of the now. So if you are thinking, that means you are not in the now, not in this present moment. The minute you start thinking, you are disconnected from now. You are either in the past, you are either in the future. So what he says is, you need to increase the gap between the two thoughts. One thought, maybe in the past, hey, that guy shouldn't have done that. I mean, he's like that. Okay, that was one thought. And then there is one other thought. Okay, this guy is really awesome. I mean, he helped me and all that stuff. That is my second thought. So what is the gap between these two thoughts? That is the very definition of space. And when we call Khaga, Surya as a Brahmin or a Khaga, what does it really mean is sun has attained a level of indifference in such a way that he really doesn't have two thoughts. He is living in that space between the two thoughts forever. He is not going to either this thought or he's not going to either going to that thought. He's always living in that now. He's always living in that now. Sunrise, sunset is all for you. For sun, none of this ever happens. Sun is always shining with the same level of luster. And always he is in the now. He is living in the now. He has kind of departed from the thoughts and he's living in that space, that infinite space between the two thoughts. That's why I call him as Khaga. And when I say Om Raum Khagaya Namaha, what I really mean is, okay, give me that ability. Just like you, make me free of thoughts. Give me that ability to live between the two thoughts. Let that second thought never come to my mind. I might have one thought, that's fine, but I want to increase that space just like you to the infinity. And I want to be in that state of now. That's why I say Om Raum Khagaya Namaha. The next name is wonderful. This is I think probably the ultimate form of gratitude. It's called Pushni. Pushni, the real meaning is nourisher, and it's basically the selfless caretaker. It's not really the parents. It's everybody that took care of us. It's everybody that took care of us. Maybe it's the grandmother, it's the great grandmother, or somebody living in the neighborhood, or somebody from distant relationship who might have taken care, or maybe a hospital nurse also who might have taken care of you selflessly, and you don't even know. You were lying unconsciously under some kind of anesthesia, and then that nurse might have taken your vitals, nurse might have moved you from place to place, and then they might have done some operation on you, and then you might have come out like healthy person, but you don't even remember that nurse now. Who took care of you? You don't remember. You have no knowledge of it. And that nurse becomes your nourisher. That is the very definition of Pushni. Is the person or the thing that has taken care of you without your knowledge. It's like an infant child. Infant child is born. That infant child doesn't care if the mom takes care or the dad takes care or the great parents take care or the nurse take care of the. He just wants some food and just clean up. That's it. And you do that and I'm going to sleep. And whoever is taking care of that child also knows that when this child is going to grow up, that child is not even going to remember who take care of him. That's the very definition of nourisher. And when I call Om Raha Pushne Namaha, I'm calling that sun knowingly that, hey, sun, you have taken my care without even my knowledge. See, just look at the same example, going from home to office, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So many people have taken care of me. If any one of them have gone wrong, my agenda would have gone wrong. My mission would have gone wrong. I wouldn't have got my objectives. So each one of them has helped me. Each one of them is my nourisher. And each one of them is created by you. And that's why you are my ultimate nourisher. And that's why I bow down in front of you. I say, Om Raha Pushne Namaha. I think that is the ultimate form of the gratitude journal we can see. Moving on to the next one is the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is again a description of the qualities of the sun. Hiranyagarbha, word to word meaning, is the one with the core made up of inert metal such as gold. And the inert metal is gold. I mean, they have chosen gold. I mean, it looks like gold. If you have seen the rising sun, it has different phases. It has different, and you can make out the names of the sun when it is rising. At the beginning, you can see like a strip of purple and red and the pink around the horizon. and there is no sun. This is when we call it as a Prabhakar. And what you see on the horizon is something called the Prabha of the sun. And then you see a small stint of sun rising on the horizon, and that is probably, we can call it as a Divakar. And then that Divakar grows up, and then you start seeing it as a ball of gold. And that is when we can call it as a Hiranya Garbha. Why they have chosen gold? Why does it look gold? Maybe there may be gold at the core of sun, but if you look at the qualities of gold as a metal, it is inert metal. You put gold in any part of the earth and nothing will happen to it. Nothing will happen to it. There is no element on earth that has potential to affect gold. So gold is unaffected, gold is unmoved, gold is indifferent, and I want that quality. Just like you, the gold in your core, make me unaffected, make me unmoved, make me solid, make me indifferent. And that's when I say Om Ram Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Marichaya, we were looking at the different stages of sun. After the Hiranyagarbha, you can start seeing a silver ball with multiple rays around it, just for a few moments, and that scene is going to change. If you miss that scene, you are missing the whole day. But if you are looking at it, you can actually see that sun is decorated with multiple rays. Those are the only few minutes. That's about it. And after that, you will never see the Marichaya. But that's the very existence of Marichaya. It is probably the most beautiful view of the sun. See, typically we kind of get confused with the view of the sun and the sky. Actually, the view of the sky is decorated by the clouds. The view of the sun should be seen in a sky that has no clouds. It's just the sun. And the most beautiful form of sun is the sun is called the Marichaya. And that Marichaya stays in front of us for a few moments. But make sure next time when you see the sunrise, make sure you look through all the stages of the sun and try to figure out what is the name of it. What could be the name of it? And this is an appreciation of sun. So when I say Om Hrim Marichaya Namaha, I'm appreciating that you are looking so beautiful with all the 1,000 rays around you. Aditya, this is going back to our roots. This is the definition of Aditya is, it is the first son of the goddess Aditi. In earlier Egypt also, they used to think that there is some goddess in the sky who gives to a birth to a child called sun every morning of the day. And then that child stays with earth, and then it keeps on growing, and then it goes all the way to the top, and then it starts descending, and then it dies. At the end of the day, it dies in the darkness. So that was the understanding of our ancestors in Egypt. Wonderful. Maybe like that, we are also thinking that there is some goddess called Aditi, and she has given a birth to a beautiful son called Sun, and we are all made up of sun. So basically, it's a remembrance of our ultimate roots. We go back to our roots, and we remember them. We nourish them for a positive effect of life. That's what we should expect when we say Om Rum Adityaya Namaha. Savitra is a creator of energy. I mean, energy is very pricey. I mean, if you have Tesla, probably you will realize it quickly. The amount of the electricity bill has shot up so high the minute you get Tesla. I mean, then you start realizing, wow, this much of kilowatt hour it takes for me to go from point A to point B. Wow, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy that I need to spend just to go from point A to point B. And now you imagine add all these Teslas on the planet, then add Mercedeses and the BMWs and the trucks and the railways and the aeroplanes and all the things that are moving, and then the seas that are moving, and then the mountains and the jungles and all the energies, and then add it up, and that makes a Earth. And now this Earth is rotating around its axis once a day. Now imagine how much of energy it's going to need to rotate this gigantic ball of iron around its own axis. And where is that energy coming from? And it's not only rotating around its own axis, it's rotating around the sun also. in 365 days. So it is rotating around itself. It has its own moons. They are rotating around them. Wow, it's like an enormous amount of energy. It's the abundance of energy. And the very source of all this energy is the sun. When I say Om Raim Savitraye Namaha, I remind myself about the abundance of energy that sun has. And when I think of abundance, I get abundance. When I feel the abundance, I attract the abundance. When I think of small things, I get small things. When I think of big things, I get big things. So this is the very treatment of our mind. When I say Om Raim Savitraye Namaha, I am telling my mind that, okay, you are such a small piece in this entire universe, and there is something called sun that has like an abundance of energy to shower on you, and that sun is your friend, that sun is your pushni, that sun is there to be with you, take care of you. He has been helping you. So this is a colloquial effect of the gratitude journal. So that's what we should think when I say Om Raim Savitraye Namaha. Om Raum Arkaya Namaha. This is another beautiful name, and it talks about the wisdom and the knowledge of the sun. In our information systems, we have stages of data. The data in binary form is called just 0 and 1. This is just called data. It's useless. It's pretty useless unless you attach context to that data. Whose data is it? Whose address is it? I mean, what does that really mean? So when you attach that context, it becomes information. Then, okay, information is information. Okay, but what do we do with it? When you have knowledge on how to use that information, then that becomes a knowledge, like how to use this information. That is called knowledge. And when you add experience to that knowledge, when I say I have used this information in so and so ways, so many number of times, then I say I have experience of using that knowledge, and then I'm called wisdom. So just look at it this way. Everything around on this planet, sun has the data. Sun knows for which plant how much electricity is needed. Sun knows for you as a human being how much vitamin D you need, how much nourishment you need. Everything he knows. How much temperature or how much kilojoules of calories it needs to evaporate the Pacific to create so many amount of clouds so that you can get so many gallons of water in the rain, and then they flow in the river. So sun has all the data of everything on this planet. Sun has all the information, what to do with that data. Sun has all the knowledge of that information, how to use it. And sun has used that knowledge for billions of years. So sun is a wise guy. Sun has attained that level of wisdom. That's what, when we remember that he knows everything, nothing is hidden from sun. He knows everything. He has used that information. He has my information. He has your information. He has used that information so many number of times. So I bow down in front of him and I say, Om Raum Arkaya Namaha. This is an appreciation of sun. Last name that of the 12 names is the Bhaskara. Bhaskara is comprised of two terms. Bha is the Buddhi and Kara is the giver. So basic meaning of Bhaskara is something a philanthropist, or who is the patron of the intellect. So intellect is a tool given to me to dissect things, dissect information around me. Whether it is a snake or a rope, whether it is a good guy or a bad guy, whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, whether it is a good habit or a bad habit. So if I lose that intellect, I will be finding myself in no man's land. I will be doing anything and everything. So that intellect is very essential for a successful execution of me as a human being, whatever to deliver my task. So I thank the Bhaskara to giving me that buddhi to do everything in my life. I achieved all my purusharthas, the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and I'm in front of you to say thank you to you. You have given me this buddhi. It is not I'm not coming to you. You are calling me to come to you and say thank you. So to keeping my intellect tender, I thank you for that, and then I say Om Raha Bhaskaraya Namaha. So these are the names that each one of these names are giving me an opportunity to thank, to appreciate, to describe, and to imagine the various qualities of sun. And what you think is what you become. The very objective of this exercise of Surya Namaskar is to awaken the sun within you. We all are made up of sun. We just need to keep reminding us every passing day that I am made up of sun and I want to be like sun. So this is a very good exercise, that is to take away the anxiety from our mind, to reduce the initial entropy of our mind, and create something called a good entropy and a chain of good thoughts. And ultimately, that is going to help us take control of our destiny. And how does that happen? Let me just get to my last slide. And I want to review the statement, very famous statement from Stephen Covey. He says, our thoughts lead to our actions lead to our habits lead to our character, and our character lead to our destiny. So what we are trying to do here with Surya Namaskar as a gratitude journal is we are kind of sanitizing our thoughts. We are kind of creating a series of positive thoughts in our mind. We are inducing positive thoughts in our mind so that they will lead into more positive actions. Those positive actions will lead into more positive habits. That positive habits will lead into a very well-rounded character, and that character will lead to a finer destiny. So this is the very purpose of Surya Namaskar. I hope um, you liked it, and I'll take a breather here and see if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so wonderful. I learned a lot. Your example, I think I just feel like the slides were not flowing in. So if you don't mind, maybe kind of like you can maybe send the slides and we can or you can upload it on your Facebook and we can, I think slides were not, we could hear you and everything, but the flow of the slides were not just there. So maybe we can upload all the slides. The mantras
Sure.
that audience, I just want to request if you can unmute yourself, and if you have any question, you can put it in a chat, or you can ask and after unmuting yourself. But while the audience is thinking, I loved actually the last webinar, and I think maybe I need to go back and listen to it again. So awakening sun within, and then the gratitude journal, it just flows together really well. I think we kind of forget when we when our basic needs are met, food, water, and shelter, and we get some financial resources, we kind of forget to go back to our root and appreciate what we have, including the sun rising in the morning and waking us up, and then going through our day and then going back to the bed again. And then appreciating those small things that makes all these things happen. And so we kind of get, I think when we are busy in getting our basic needs met, our mind is figuring out those, I mean, it's kind of like busy. And things financially, when we are set, everything is done. That's when it's just all these things starts opening up, and we forget to appreciate all these small things. And that is a reminder that having that gratitude towards all those things is a part of our journey, life journey. So it's really, really a reminder of that, to appreciate all the things that we have. This entropy, I spoke with you also. Can you kind of elaborate on entropy of mind, just for the audience also?
Yeah, sure. So you brought a really good point. First, let me clarify that this going back to the roots. So I recently came across a wonderful book by Karen Armstrong. It's called Sacred Nature. And she talks about how human nature had changed and how we unnecessarily came away from the nature. I mean, nature is our mother, and we are still connected with the nature, even though you have like a science and all that stuff. We are still made up of nature. As so far so good, science has not made human being. Human being has made science. So we are still made up of the nature. So her point of view is, I mean, she gave a very good example. In Egypt earlier, I gave you that example. Like they used to think that, okay, sun is born every morning and then he dies every evening. So what they used to do is they used to employ priests to keep an eye on the sun so that that sun doesn't fall off the sky. So they had multiple priests. They would wake up and appreciate and have a celebration of the birth of sun in every morning and say, wow, sun has born, wonderful. This is such a moment of joy. And then each one of them will keep an eye, like they might have done some shifts and all. And in the evening, wow, it is going again down. Well, they will have that sense of pity and sorrow, and they would say, man, now this is going to die. I mean, then they used to pray like, okay, take care of our son. He gave so many things to us. He gave such a good light, such a good life, and all that stuff. So hopefully he doesn't get too much pain when he goes into the hell of darkness. Well, that's how human being was thinking. Then we figured out, okay, now sun is not moving, sun is fixed, earth is moving. Okay, forget about this. This is all nonsense. This is all nonsense. We don't even have. And the unfortunate thing that has happened is we have stopped looking at the sun also. We need to understand the fact that what sun was doing then is also doing today. There is no difference in what sun is giving to us. The real difference is in our approach. We stop thinking that sun is not taking birth, it's permanent and it's fixed. So nothing is going to happen. I'm going to take it for granted. I don't need to take care of it. Well, that is our mistake. Sun is still the same. Sun is doing still all the same favors that he was doing in those days when Egyptians thought that sun is moving. Fine. So we need to go back and we need to thank the sun for everything we got, even though we may be any advanced in science whatsoever. Still, as long as sun is doing those favors, we should be thankful to him. Coming back to your second question about the entropy of mind. So entropy is a thermodynamic concept. It talks about the degree of disorder. So to give you one example, in a given class in a school, if there is a class teacher, everything is organized. Kids are sitting at their places, they are studying, their books opened, they are looking ahead, and they are giving full attention. So the entropy of that class is low. So if there is no teacher, there is all chaos. People are sitting on each other, they are fighting with each other, they are doing something, they are maybe playing games, they are tearing out papers, and it's all chaos. So the entropy of that class is very high. So entropy is the degree of disorder. So just like any other system, our mind is also made up of those 100 billion neurons. And they are sitting in our brain, such a small size. They are very compact space. They really don't have space. So all they can do is they can keep talking to each other. They can keep passing on messages to each other. And that creates a chain reaction of thoughts. The more we think, the more reaction it gives. And one thought breeds many other thoughts, and that breeds many other thoughts, and that breeds many other thoughts, and that lights up a whole different series and combination of neurons in our brain. And that creates that we can call it as an entropy of mind. So when you meditate, I mean, we basically switch off those lights and we calm down, and we call it as, I mean, there is a very good concept called nirvana. So nirvana is basically calming down. It's nothing else. It's not like going into the forest and leaving everything, and that's not called nirvana. Nirvana is calming down your anxiety, calming down your hatred, calming down your jealousy, calming down your lobha, moha, mada, matsara. So calming down everything is called the nirvana. So the nirvana is attaining that lower level of entropy, shutting down those neurons and letting them sit quietly. That's the very process of, that's the very definition of entropy. So the example is, if you have a high entropy, high initial entropy in the mind, like when you wake up, you have like, oh, stock market is going down, the inflation is going up, and economy is going down, these guys don't know anything, politicians are. So if you keep chanting all these things with with yourself, what it is going to do is, it's going to substantially increase the entropy of your mind. And you, in that disturbed state of mind, if you get a bad news, like somebody passed away, or if you get a good news, like you got a lottery, or your stock went up like 50% or 200%. So your mind is not really in a good state to absorb that trauma. It is going to propagate it. It is going to let that entropy grow exponentially high, because it's already high. So what they say is, the entropy of the universe is already growing. There is nothing that can stop. Entropy will continue to grow. The chaos of this universe is growing. Because of things are happening, the chaos is growing. Same thing applies to our mind also. So our objective is to be ready to accept these kind of traumas. They are going to come to us, be positive or be negative. They will be coming to us. Our objective is to keep that entropy of the mind least. Keep it organized, keep it assigned to a particular thought, that okay, there is sun, and that sun is going to take care of me. That's about it. And once we have that one thought in our mind, for every day we are treating our brain, the other neurons are kind of out of job, and they are thinking like, okay, wonderful, I'm assured. So that's the very purpose of does that answer your question?
Yes, 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 yes. You know, chaos, basically, chaos of the
It's the
mind.
chaos, the degree of
Chaos
chaos.
of
Yeah.
the mind. Yes, the degree of the
Yeah.
chaos. And then, how any audience has any question or thoughts or any comments? Yeah, just unmute yourself and then you can ask the question. It was really, I mean, I loved it. You know, the concept, and also the Surya Namaskar. And then, so you had Surya Namaskar mantra in your presentation? It didn't come through so maybe that
Oh
one
yes,
also we
yes,
can.
yes. I had
Okay,
them.
yeah.
I had them. Yeah.
Okay, okay. We will also put that in. Like, so you start with yeah, we'll
The
put that in
Surya
our
mantra. Yeah, yeah.
Surya
I will
mantra
send that
and
deck to you.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we will give it to anybody has any questions. You can ask in Hindi or Marathi also. Doesn't have to be in English. मराठी मध्ये सुद्धा तुम्ही प्रश्न विचारू शकतात. कुणाला काही प्रश्न असतील तर हिंदीमध्ये सुद्धा विचारू शकतात. हिंदी में भी आप क्वेश्चन बोल सकते हैं और पूछ सकते हैं, या आपको कुछ क्वेश्चंस है तो. So it was really good. Maybe I'll give few more minutes for if anybody wants to ask any question. We were also on the Facebook Live. So this on Setu International Foundation's page at Setu International. So if anybody wants to go back and listen to it, you could do it on the Facebook also. And when the recording is available, we will upload it on our YouTube channel. And also Nikhil Kulkarni, Surya Namaskar Alliance has a Facebook page. So it will be there also. So you'll have multiple ways of looking at this presentation or listening to it again. किसी को कुछ प्रश्न है कुछ? कोई question?
Hello.
हाँ बोलो. Philip Savarkar.
Is there any relation of Om and Sun?
Om, acha, is
And
there
sun?
Om and Sun? Acha, Nikhil, the question is there any relationship between Om and Sun?
I mean, there is yes and no. There are some theories that are being developed that the sound of universe hums like Om, but there is no precise conclusion as to it. One good thing about one good thing about Om that I found is it is called Rudgit, and Onkar is a song of the heart. And the very existence of sun within us is in our heart. So saying Onkar in Surya Namaskar is very, very good, very refreshing, and very soothing from the entropy of mind point of view. So I think that's what I can think of in terms of the relation between Onkar and Surya.
I think, instead of limiting sun to one particular religion, or because we tend to hijack, and then our mind also goes into some kind of hijack mode, and we tend to limit ourselves into and put it in a box of label of some religion or some. So instead of that, open and not claim sun as our thing, or maybe any lot of the other systems also, without, I mean, we could not even call Sanskrit as our language or something, to open ourselves. And that's probably the greatest message, is open our thought and brain and mind to other greatest possibilities. We might be able to increase our awareness through all these concepts. And that's what probably society in general needs it too. Increasing and be flexible to the different possibilities, and opening to the graciousness of the sun and giving the gratitude would be a very good start of our day. So one more time, if anybody has any question, or we can probably, yeah, maybe we can just say it's been 2 hours. I think it was really wonderful though. Almost
you,
1.5 hour. Yeah, 1.5, 40 minutes. So I think we'll thank you everybody for attending. And thank you, Nikhil, for such you being an engineer, and still you have acquired or gained your knowledge, and maybe that probably your possibility of opening yourself up to that knowledge, and see, transforming yourself. It's not just the change that you're, but obviously it takes years and years of knowledge, I mean, education, then transferring into knowledge, and then getting into the wisdom part of it. It didn't come just by you, but it is generational knowledge also that has transformed. And that is what I think we should expect from ourselves and to from the society, and in general through the universe also. Really good. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. We do webinars monthly, and if you want any upgrade, go to our Facebook or join our WhatsApp group. That's where we post next webinars also. On November 20, next month, we have our annual series, Kavita Vyas annual series. And Dr. Girish Kulkarni, he's a founder of Snehalaya from Nagar. He will be joining us. Please join us. That will be an annual, once in a year we do that. The topic will be about children and women. So please join us for that session also. And ours is a nonprofit organization, Setu International Foundation. So let us know if you want any different topics or any questions, and we'll get back to you too. So thank you, Nikhil, so much. Thank you, Surya Namaskar Alliance. If you want his book, Suryopasana, I think Amazon has it, and it's in Marathi?
Yeah, it's in Marathi. It's on bookganga.com.
Bookganga.com, yes.
Yeah,
oh, okay. So please, if you want to get that book also, and all the proceeds of that book are going to Vivekananda Foundation, right? Vivekananda Mission.
Kendra. Yeah,
Vivekananda Kendra. So all the proceeds of that books are supporting the Vivekananda Mission. So I hope that by opening these kinds of topic, it will awaken the sun within yourself. I wish that just happy Diwali. I mean, it's just happened, and now we are entering into the holiday seasons. So I hope and wish for awakening the sun within all of you, and developing that thought process and habit of giving gratitude throughout the day, and especially to the sun. And my gratitudes to Nikhil Kulkarni for bringing this topic.
No, it's all about sun. It's all about sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you so much for everybody giving your time. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.